Hello everybody, my name is Elenator and welcome back to Ultimate Minecraft Polyworld 437. We have all this stuff to put away. And the shelves. Probably gotta go tree chopping because I have trees that need to be chopped. We wrapped up over here. At least I hope I did. I'm thinking we're all set now. It's slightly more interesting than what it was before. I didn't realize it's already turning nighttime. How about we catch some of these over here, reset the weather timer. Where's my sleeping bag? I left it somewhere. I don't remember where I left it. Did I leave it with the villagers? It's not nighttime yet. Eyes turn red, you can go to bed. Except the block museum is in the way. We can't see. Can't see the Zella Moon from here. As if the basement will change. Huzzah! There we go. Alright, we're all set. Go, go, go. As we take advantage of the speed boost while it's here. Oh, go, golems, go. They're trying to take out the slime. Mildly comedic. Ah, I ran out. I was thoroughly enjoying that. Oh well. Are all the iron golems starting to migrate back over here? I've moved a bunch of them just yesterday, and now it feels like they're starting to slide back in this direction. And I found my sleeping bag. I'll take that. Alright, so let's go clean out our inventory, put all this stuff away, and decide where we're going tree chopping. Any slime balls for me? I'll take that, thank you. It'd be rather interesting if one of these days I had a dedicated slime farm. I'd have to verify exactly where the slime chunks are though. Alright, so making sure there's nothing else in there. Yeah, we'll need to put the chests on the shelves as well. Yeah, it'd be nice if I could find just a nice big forest in a place I don't particularly care about. Then what I could do, I did not mean to keep that on me. Then what I could do is just chop, chop, chop. I realize we're gonna have to go to the next warehouse for this. Some of these items I forgot to put away. Oh, in fact, we're also gonna have to go back to the bee farm. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, sign. I hope we're at 8 bees because that's what I'm gonna write down on the sign, and I'm gonna remember that, hopefully. The last oak sign. Until I make a bunch more. Because I'll need to write down how many bees are in there, because if I don't write down, I'm gonna forget. Howdy, Henry, welcome back. Brown. That's what it is. I need a lot more brown. I'll deal with that later. Things go alright. I have more game stuff to do. The next big step is getting it on Steam now. In fact, it's currently not yet. I should say I haven't started that process yet because I need to get the 100 put together for the submission. I'll do that later. Hopefully this weekend. Because then once the Steam stuff is set up, I could just publish at any time. Oop, go, go, go. Oh, the video's not going anywhere until it gets buried on my channel. But it's a video and not a live stream. Therefore, it's not going to be buried that quickly. Alright, how are we doing on my bee stuff? Let me grab some bone meal real fast. How about we use rose bushes this time? Alright, here's one bee. I need any other bee, I hope. And I have several bees in here, and there's only one flying around. They really don't like leaving the hive all that often. No wonder why people make such large-scale farms. Well, I'm trying to expand mine, except, you know, they're taking a long time. It's not like regular animals, where you just keep them in a pen. You walk on up and say, here, feast. It's that time again. No other bees want to come out here? I have at least 6. I'm pretty sure 7. And I want to say the one from yesterday was 8. Alright, this is taking too long. Well, at least now I can put the bottles back. No, thank you. Alright, slimes. Y'all ready for this? Huzzah! Oh, there's another one over here. Huzzah! And huzzah! Ah, this guy jumped. Well, anyways. Nope. I'm not concerned about performance. I just want the bees to not stick around in their hives. At least they've been busy. Alright, so there's one of the small fry bees. Yeah, well, either way, I'm going to mark 8 on the sign, then I'll try again later. Why does my sword look different? Because I changed the texture. Bee count 8, said the Stanley Parable. Alright, let's go put away these slime balls. You know what? The Zeleniko's right over here. We'll do the chests first. Then put away the slime balls. Then we'll go tree chopping. Hold on. This is bothering me. Alright, I feel better about that now. Compulsive terrain smoothing. Always happens. What was it? CTS, I think. Tree shopping. I don't plan on shopping for trees. I'm thinking of heading back to the beta 1.2 area. I'll be investigating that again. Oh, sun's going down. Yeah, I'll need to make sure to bring shulker boxes, because between the logs and the sticks and the apples and the saplings, it's a lot of different items you acquire while tree chopping. So my current plan is to make sure I have enough inventory space. Hopefully I'm not tree chopping for too long. What is this lighting bug? And howdy, welcome back. That's another chunk border, right? I need to optimize the world. I haven't done that in a while. Apparently the lighting bugs don't end. I'm thinking of optimizing the world after 1.16.3, because I haven't done it since 1.15. And there are some lighting bugs both here in the overworld and in the nether. This stuff should be corrected. So I'll do that later. Alright, so now we put away the dirt. That's a lot of dirt I have on me. That is 3 double chests right there, all packed into the shulker boxes. Speaking of shulker boxes, I guess I only have the one. Oh well. Enjoy the summer camp. Yeah, not oink. Howdy, Paul. Welcome back as well. Alright, I guess what I can do... How about I just... casually bring this with me as well. That's more storage. Oh wait, do I need to take this with me? I think I have a ender chest at the beta 1.2 area, but I can't remember. So I'll just keep this on me anyway. Alright. Let's grab a boat and away we go. The urge to shear the sheep because I need the wool, with the knowledge of that's just going to take more inventory space. Go, 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 while we still have speed. Ah, we almost made it. Nom 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 nom. Might as well eat now. That way I won't have to deal with it later. Alright, so beta 1.2. So that's past... I should say that's the third spawn chunk. Or not the third spawn chunk, the third little exit point. Because the first one is the spawn chunk area. And then the second one is the monolith. And so it's just past the monolith. Nope, I saw you. Let's see, where are we? 2,500. Zoop! There's the monolith. And touchdown. Alright, cool, we made it. That wasn't too bad of a journey. Minecraft, the journey. Badoops. Can I just... Oh, never mind, he's on a mission, I don't know where he's going. I was gonna try to politely, you know, knock him off the stairs. Alas, I did not get the opportunity. Howdy and welcome back. You know what had occurred to me? What's stopping me from putting a portal on the nether roof directly above the one in the nether? And then what happens is it'll take me to the overworld. And then whenever I come back, I only have to take the staircase in the nether going up. I feel like that's more efficient. I didn't think about that because that way I don't have to bother dropping down from the roof. Oh well, later, I say. You know, maybe we'll do that after our tree chopping. Because even if they're only one-way portals, it'll still be useful. Because they're going to link up with the one already here in the overworld, which is going to put me back to the one I built originally. Alright, well, one thing at a time. I wonder, what if I should estimate just how much wood I'm going to need for the shelves? And then I can estimate how many chests as well. I'll do that later. I'll need to know how much wood I spend on each shelf, because I have the first layer already done for each of them. I don't think, well, I should say, moving all the portals to the roof only does not sound like an optimal experience for the reason of I still travel inside the nether often enough that I'd like to keep the portals within. It's only been 18 minutes, that's it. It feels like it's been longer than that. Approximately one, or I should say nearly 1/6 of the way through the stream. Oop. Alright, cool, I reached. Halo reach. See, look at all these items that aren't wood. So I've got 3 different slots for wood. And then I got the two different saplings and sticks. Oi. $39,000 Steam Deck prototype. Can't say I have. I might have said howdy, welcome back. We're chopping trees, of course. Its performance matches that of the original Switch. You saying that's not what you wanted to say? Because the sentence makes sense to me. Oh, I see, it's the apostrophe. And I got another banner, of which is just currently taking up inventory space. I'll need to remember to place this with the others. I wonder how many trees are in this area. Wonder if I should only go up until the snow or so. So if there's a moderate amount of trees right here in the snow, you know what I could do? I can make a line that cuts off the land. So if I were to say, start maybe here, start where this sand is, and then cut a line directly south. Then everything over here I chop, and this will be one nice big area that can be removed from existence. Anything else dropped on the floor? I should probably pick this up before I leave the area. Hey, a helicopter outside. Must be looking for someone. Alright, I think we're all good, hopefully. Hope I see the sun going down, but that's okay. So yeah, now we start moving off in this direction. Because everything from, or I should say everything across the shoreline, all the way to the sand I designated, all that's now isolated. Which means I plan on keep going until I remove the whole area. Does a strawberry moon mean the moon looks red or pinkish? The riots are not in my neighborhood. The riots are like hour and a half, 2 hours away. I'm not in LA. Oh, alright. Zella Moon has risen. Eyes turn red, you go to bed. Doesn't that make a big ol' radius, though? In what direction? I guess you can't go 90 minutes west because that's gonna put you in the ocean. I can assure you I'm not out in the ocean. I don't even think there's an island. Well, there's Catalina. The Catalina's closer than that. Smaller than the entirety of California. Makes sense. Clay generated? Oh wait, this was alpha terrain. This was before the bug, beta 1.6. Maybe even beta 1.5. I can't remember when the clay generation bug occurred. Nom nom nom. The clay bug was the X and Y coordinate had to equal each other to generate clay. It's notched up or something. And so you would only get clay generating on the diagonal line of positive, positive, negative, negative. Yes, clay was super rare in beta 1.6. And maybe beta 1.5. I don't remember exactly, but I know it's fixed in beta 1.7. For as much as I like beta 1.6.6 over 1.7, that clay bug makes me sad. But if I don't build with clay all that often, then I'll just say, oh well. You know what, maybe I should do something with all the brick I have. Because I want to say, I carved out a whole bunch of nerve headquarters, and then all that brick just ended up in shulker boxes. I don't think I did anything with it. Build another pyramid. Maybe if I turn it into stairs, I can make a copy. Or I could make a hollow pyramid. If I made a hollow pyramid, that might be more useful. Although I don't know what I would put inside. Parkour! Didn't you recommend building a parkour area on here at some point because it was on my Instuff Plus world that I built parkour? I need to find a good desert to build in. I guess there's the beta 1.8 desert, but I don't know how much of that I've already dug up because I needed sand. And why a brick pyramid in the desert for a reason other than it's a pyramid in the desert? Build an ancient tomb. I feel like building it out of brick is going to stand out compared to building it out of sandstone. Oop. I feel a sneeze coming. Can I pineapple this one away? Because I certainly had a sneeze attack yesterday. So this goes back to my initial question of why build this in the desert in particular. Since examining your plan, I don't see where the desert factors in. Unused variable. Because desert sounds like something Ryan would say. A desert pyramid makes sense, but I think to myself, why a brick pyramid? I would need an oasis nearby. For the water. Water and clay, I should say. Instead didn't have deserts. Not until later, I should say. I'm pretty sure it was only standard grass generation by the time the brick pyramid was implemented. We can combine aspects. I'm thinking to myself how much a giant bright red pyramid is going to stand out against all the sand. And I'm feeling, even if you ignore the resource logistics, I don't know how good it would look. I didn't realize just how many trees I chopped down already. Pretty sure this area was mostly full up until about there. You don't know how far you've traveled until you look behind you. A brick road. Where'd the road lead? Y'all know me and my gravel pathways. Oh, there's another one. I leave my home area. And next thing I know, I encountered two of these scouts. Within about 10 minutes of each other. A brick road to the monolith? I don't know if I have 22,000 brick. I know I have a lot of brick. I don't think I have that much brick. I'd really have to hollow out Nerve headquarters. Especially since I already spent a massive amount of the brick making the stairs. The reason why it being a joke was not obvious for a couple of reasons. First, you can't see emotion in text. The second reason, it's not impossible, it's just very difficult. Do we have brick walls by now? Did 1.14 add brick walls? Because I feel like a brick-based parkour area is more feasible now that there are more brick types other than stairs, slabs, and the full block. For some reason, I thought brick walls were added in 1.14, along with a lot of the other wall types. I'm probably gonna go home, put bricks in my inventory, and see if recipes unlock. Because I don't know when the last time I had bricks in my inventory after 1.12 was. Brick is a basic building material that I feel it would have. If we have sandstone walls, I feel like we should have brick walls. Sun's going down. It's already been 10 minutes. I'll take the saplings, thank you very much. Alright, couple more trees and then we'll be catching some Z's and resetting the weather timer. The Zella moon rises. And away we go. Alright, cool. The wall with the old brick texture. If you're thinking of brick walls with regular folks within modern day stuff, it would most definitely be using the Java texture. You gotta think in objects, don't think in exclusivity. It would be the old texture on here because walls, stairs, slabs, fences, they all use their base material texture. fence gates as well. They all use the same texture. So like planks, for example. Everything you can make out of planks uses the same texture, unless it has its own stuff like trapdoors, doors, and signs, mostly. Well, that's somewhat organized, I guess. There we go. Clean inventory is a happy inventory. Till it starts filling up again. Alright, how are we looking? I think we're making good progress. I'm looking around and seeing how much farther we have to go. We should have enough time and storage space to make it all the way to the shoreline. At least over to where the trees are. Let me just verify that this doesn't connect, because I want to say that land. Oh, it looks like that's a whole separate island right there. Oh yeah, this is doable. So everything from essentially this poofy tree, excuse me, cow, all the way to the snow. Should say the other snow. The other snow over here. This is doable. You know, I still kind of feel like there is a speed improvement over Diamond Tools. Not by much though, but I'll need to verify. I'm probably gonna go on the wiki. You know what? You know what I can do? I could design a test area. In fact, y'all remember the whole testing strip that I started working on? I have a few different areas. I have one for water, one for distance, and one dedicated chamber. Maybe that's what I'll work on. Maybe I'll use brick, except I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, aren't I using oak and dark oak as the primary building materials? I still need to save all my wood for Zelenako, since that for sure needs to be done. Howdy Ryan, welcome back. I'll need to look at what I built it out of. I know dark oak was one of the materials. Of course, I don't have to make the whole testing area out of the same thing. This was those pickaxe textures. All my netherite tools have different textures because I wanted them animated. And so I went and made my own. Look, it has spinning golden gears because you need gears, or I should say you need gold to make the titanium. Yeah, the titanium alloy that is used to construct such materials. Are we good? Oh, no, hold up, I see you. There's another log in there. Now I think we're all done. I'm gonna hope. Thankfully, there have not been too many big poofy trees. It is very high res. It's 64x because I needed the gears to be very small. These gears are only 5 pixels in width. I should say 5 pixels diameter. And because if I were to use the base resolution, that's only ever so slightly more than 1 single pixel. I can't do anything at that resolution. So to make the gears animated, I use a very high resolution. Level up. There's number 3. Where's it? There it is. I now have 3 ominous banners, and they're just gonna keep sitting in my inventory. Potato called the high resolution cursed because everything else still used the default resolution. Oopsies. Oh well. This resource pack has a whole lot of random stuff in there. It just uses old textures as the base concept. You keep talking about mixels and I have no idea what mixels is. Come on, saplings. Come on down here. You can't evade the furnace forever. My ominous banners are going with the others I already have, where on the one wall of my first warehouse. I already have 2 over there. The chances of me getting enough ominous banners to line the entirety of the warehouse is very low. But if that ever does happen, I'll just start covering the second warehouse. The chances of me getting enough ominous banners to cover the sides of both warehouses is extremely low. How old must this world need to be for me to reach that? I did not know what Mixels was in terms of 2D artwork either. It just sounded like mixed pixels, which I'm sure is where it's come from. Sun's going down soon. And there's another poofy tree that's going to take a little while to get rid of. Is this for the 1.2.5 mod you were working on? This is a separate project. Oh, there's another poofy tree here. You're gonna also pour Insta 415 terrain? That sounds fun. Those extremely tall mountains with the 256 heights limit. Of course, you have to make sure the terrain goes up that high, since it's not like later in InfDev where the mountains are a little bit taller than the 128 limit. Until Notch did something to curve off the tops of the mountains to make sure that they fit within the limit. Technical details. I would anticipate it to be much easier because of how simple the game was at the time. Simple game means simple terrain. So the moon has risen. Let's reset the weather timer. Howdy, Koski. Welcome back. This is customizability in terms of features throughout Minecraft's history that have come and gone. Alright, logs. Who's next? Alright, I think we're all set now. Start working on these other trees. Let's just eliminate the birch so that way all of this starts decaying. Alright, who exists within here? We're gonna start waiting for all of this to decay, and hopefully decays rather quickly. You're gonna implement the game rules within your own way, as in unrelated to how Minecraft handles game rules in the present. Alrighty then. Yes, Cal, I hear you. What am I doing? I'm chopping down some trees. And yes, howdy, welcome to the stream. I have wood together, so I'm chopping down trees. I need the wood. I need to build shelves. And my shelves, I decided to make them out of wood. I wasn't going to make them out of stone, because the primary building is stone. If you plan on adding some custom world types, is the beta terrain going to be the base terrain then? The building that I need to build the shelves in is my Zelanaco. If there's still the vanilla generator, does that mean there's going to be... Or I should say, does that mean you already have those two? And you will add some more? Alright, there we go. I understand better now. It'd be nice if I get rid of all the logs from down here, but I don't think I'll be able to. Aha! Except I still have several more. This world might be multi-platform. We'll see when we get there. That's gonna take a very long time though. I'm pretty sure Ant Venom never made his cow killing compilation, even though that was on the to-do list a decade ago. 23/16/20 is the day and the timestamp. Whatever month, day 23, hour 16, minute 20, that this jar was compiled, approximately 6 hours after the first upload of 1.16, which has another timestamp of 22, something something. I can't remember. I can't remember the timestamps. As of right now, I'm not sure when I would get around to playing it, as I have other projects currently taking more time. Oh wait, I did finish all the trees in this area. I'll look back and realize I started over there, back where those trees were. Alright, let me put more stuff away real fast as we'll let all these items drop from the sky. Alright, so start with the logs. Keep those all centralized. There we go. It's nice that everything fits in one shulker box. I don't know what EOL is. Sounds like AOL, except chances are that might have been before your time. I don't plan on doing big farms. I have a few farms going on here, but they're all relatively small. End of light. Never heard of. Alright, come on, leaves, go away. Oh, I'm missing some logs. I'll probably start moving back that way. $6 million items an hour. That doesn't sound like a fun thing to build. I can assure you I've not heard or seen of that before. I wonder if I should just leave this here if I keep picking up items. Come on, Sticks, I see you. Doesn't take that much more than 100 hours to build. 100 hours is 50 streams. I don't want to spend 50 streams on one thing. I don't even have 50 streams left. I physically don't have enough Minecraft versions for that. Unless I did snapshots. 6 million items an hour would not crash the game if you keep all the items as they're coming. Because it's not like one instant drop of 6 million items. 6 million items over the span of 60 minutes. 10,000 items per second? Depends on how it's all sorted. Come on, Zelamoon. Rise. Oh. I have a lot of apples and a lot of gold, but I don't plan on making golden apples. I don't know what I'll use the gold for. It just sits in my chest for now. I could always make powered rails with a roller coaster. 500 items per game tick. Manageable if your computer is well enough. Oh, come on. The last of the sticks I need. There we go. I feel like the storage... You know, I don't know. I don't know the complexities of hoppers. Alright, let me... Alright, well, let's get back to doing what we were doing. So the question is, where do I go? I feel like I just start at the edge, then work my way inward. Decisions, decisions. With something that takes 100 hours to construct, I wouldn't be surprised if a big chunk of that was just for storage and item handling. I wonder, I picked up 3 ominous banners. If I ignore the time it took for me to get here, I wonder if that's one about every 15 minutes. I wonder if soon I'm gonna see another scouting party, unless I happen to get really unlucky. Because all I did was leave my primary area. I wonder if there have been more scouting parties, but I never noticed because of all my iron golems. I wonder. I don't know what the items would be used for, but it's probably one of those because it's possible sort of mindsets. If there's nothing on this side, then maybe I'll go straight back and focus more on the right. I guess what I could do is chop it off here. So if I get rid of these trees, focus on that direction. When you say stutter, as in the world offset, I would assume you would not bring that back in. I feel like such a farm would have significantly worse performance on the server itself. The server trying to process all of that. I don't even know how much information a server is able to send out, because all those items would need to be, I should say the packets for all those items would need to be delivered. If you say the Farlands remain unpatched, are the Farlands going to remain unpatched within all terrain types? And I think this is where I go up. Everything before beta 1.8. Oh, I see. Hello to you as well. Welcome back to the stream. If the focus is on customizability, would not the option to enable or disable the particular Farlands correction be a feature then? There we go. This will allow anybody who wishes to enjoy post-beta 1.8 terrain with Farlands as well. Or play old seeds without the Farlands. And I think I'll have to go up again. Unless leaves do drop sticks. I think that was a 1.9 feature. You're back, what happened? Theory crafting and tree chopping. That long ago? 9 years. First I thought it was 1.8, but I want to say it was indeed 1.9. Don't worry, 9 years is longer than Minecraft's lifespan. Longer than half of Minecraft's lifespan, I should say. Longer than the lifespan would not make sense. If Minecraft is only 16, that means 8 years ago. As this series progresses, we're not getting any younger. Well, Paul, the Farlands were a bug. The bug was fixed. You know, let's say though, let me say, what if the Farlands never were, say the Farlands were never fixed back in beta 1.8. Years pass. And then, you know, say during a 1.21 or 1.20's development cycle, they finally fixed the bug that caused the Farlands, and there was an outrage. Do you think Mojang would have reverted it? Like, they would have reverted the bug in terms of your movement when changing crouching states, the vectors not being normalized? If there was such an outrage for something as small as that, do you think such an outrage would have also prevented the removal of the Farlands? They started dropping sticks in 1.14. It wasn't 1.9. That was off by 3 years. Why was I thinking 1.9? Something else started in 1.9 then. Looked it up on the wiki. Now I'm trying to figure out what I was thinking changed at 1.9 that wasn't there in 1.8. Because 1.9 had a lot of smaller stuff unrelated to the end and to combat. Eyes turn red, you can go to bed. Look at all that grass. If the Farlands were never an issue to begin with, other than during Notch's early development period, there would be... I feel like the Minecraft community as a whole would remain mostly the same. But of course there would not be the subgroups of people interested within Farlands. .9 was the next step in technical changes that 1.8 started. For someone to discover the Farlands, they would need to undo the correction that causes the Farlands to occur. Maybe they would be discovered during the time where people really started getting interested in 64-bit Minecraft. Are 64-bit mods still sprouting up? I feel like there's one I saw sometime last year. Go to the end in each world type and there will be a surprise. The end is still enabled. I guess that's unrelated to terrain. Unless the terrain in the end. Are they Sky Islands? That'd be cool. The old terrain from the beta 1.6 to beta 1.8 era. If there's still an Ender Dragon, and if the terrain is made out of regular Sky Island stuff, the Ender Dragon's gonna end up destroying a whole bunch of it, as those blocks are not blacklisted from destruction. There will be a boss, but not the Ender Dragon. I see. Been an hour and 10 already. Time goes zoom. How much longer do I have? Why does this give you Bad Omens 3? Is there any sort of difference that the effect has? Because I feel like it's just a one-time dealio. Wait, hold on. Is it Bad Omens 3 because I took out 3 of them sequentially? Now I kind of want to do another one and see if it goes up to 4. Okay, so it's only for old versions and not within release. Okay, I understand better now. This would make for interesting seed comparisons. Because if you're using InfDev terrain, but you still want to go to the stronghold and stuff, then most of the stronghold would need to be changed. Notch knew about the Farlands bug at some point in 2010. I don't remember exactly, because I know he made a blog post for it. He didn't call them the Farlands because that name wasn't solidified yet. I don't even know if he knew exactly where it started, because that did not say in the post. I just remember him making reference to the terrain generator having overflow bugs. I'll need to go back and go through the blogs again. Fun time looking back at all the things he said. And the ideas that never ended up happening, like any you burnt out torches. We're gonna ignore the April Fool's version. I wonder how many people even remember April Fool's 2013 when 2.0 came out. I thought it was so cool back then. There's probably a lot of people who play Minecraft these days where they weren't even born yet. I wonder if there's a youngest documented person to have played Minecraft. Antvin made videos about the Farlands, but that was later in 2011. I'm thinking around the beta 1.4, beta 1.5 era. There was also Kurt J. Mack that started walking in beta 1.3. So by 2011, they were already, the knowledge of the Farlands have already spread a moderate amount. Yeah, you can find some stuff back in 2010. Or back from 2010 in relation to the Farlands. There's also the wiki page. The wiki page was from early 2011, January or February. It's kind of funny. Not really, it's a little sad. But I found the guy who made the original, the classic 2 screenshots of the Farlands. The one where you've got the slightly angled shot of the start of the Farlands in the snowy area, as well as the Farlands in the Nether. And so I got in contact with the guy who took those screenshots a few months ago, I believe. And because he's still around on YouTube and stuff. And so I asked him to see if he happened to still have the original screenshots. Unfortunately, he didn't. But I thought that was interesting. Can't remember his name. I'd have to go back and find my comment. But yeah. Anyways, little neat Minecraft history there. Alright, back to reading comments. At that time, people were using single-player commands to teleport there, or NBT Edit, because NBT Explorer wasn't out yet. So those were the 2 options for teleporting to the Farlands. The hard limit? I feel like people use the term the hard limit for the 32-bit integer limit. If that's the term Notch used, then sad times, because he would have been inaccurate to begin with. I was really hoping I could get all the logs in here. I'd say we're almost done, but truth be told, I don't know how far we're going. I was planning on also filling up the ender chest. We'll see if I'm in the mood still. Because the shulker box is about to be full, so we're going to start moving on to the ender chest soon. The community changed the name. I was thinking in terms of a technical level. Because you could still keep going if you really wanted all the way to 32 million. Because that would have been the primary end of the world. Especially since there's a video from June, I think. I think it's June 2010. June 7th, maybe. Where someone was at 32 million in the far lands. Oldest known recorded video of someone at the far lands. Of course, they didn't know where the terrain started. They just saw the terrain all messed up. I don't even know how you figured out 32 million, though. Can't remember. Alright, so let me grab all this real fast. We'll keep the logs in here. Alright, well, that was fun while it lasted. Maybe if I keep focusing on the logs, then I'll put the saplings in here. Saplings and the sticks. And apples, I guess. There we go. Alright, let's reset the weather timer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the farther lands and the farther lands would not have been known until noticeably later. That would have been a 2016 or 17 discovery. Maybe 2018 at the latest. I'm gonna say we need more Farlands mods. What do you mean by that? Because it's rather easy to bring back the Farlands, and there's a mod that went all the way up until 1.18. Oh wait, there was another mod I remembered as well. That was also maintained for after, or I should say for 1.18 and later. That's not a class edit though, that one's a fabric mod, I believe. Alright, we're moving out. Not really, because we're just going over here. Stuff that only generates if the world is at least... Hold on, why 827? I want to know where that number came from. Did you misremember? Because there's one right answer. I should say there's one objectively right answer, and there's one subjectively right answer. 821 is the true value, but under certain conditions, it's 824. It's based on seed and axis and other factors. Alright, let's think how to get rid of this guy. Maybe I can use the side of the edge here. It's very easy to get terrain that generates closer to spawn. Do you remember Anvenom's video where he brought the Farlands about 47 blocks away from spawn? All you have to do is shrink the terrain, or I should say expand the terrain scale. He did a whole video breakdown, but you can use terrain from Or I should say you could use between 1.8 and 1.12, customized worlds, Potato's favorite, to bring it closer. All you need is a mod capable of doing the same thing. It does vary. 821 is the overarching start. Usually. I'm not at all surprised that the seed would be uninterested. Wonder what it'll look like in beta though. Or inf dev, early inf dev. Strongholds generate more. You could do what Potato wants and not limit the number of strongholds. So why only have 3? Why not have them generate across the entirety of the world? Classic and in-dev worlds had a seed upon generation, but because the whole world is generated when you first load, you can't save the seed that way. Classic Plus, however, you can. That way you can recreate the same classic seed every time. Pretty sure in-dev Plus would be the same. I don't see why he would remove that feature for in-dev. The seed shouldn't change every few blocks. Because if it changed every few blocks, you'll end up getting block borders. It's been broken for a year and no one noticed. Turns out, my first game, When Bad Things Arrived, was broken for like 2 years or 3 years. And I didn't notice until later. But with how few people would play Classic Plus multiplayer, I'm not surprised that it wasn't caught. Some things developers just don't realize. If you're using beta 1.8 per release 1, that seed's going to be even more boring. Beta 1.8 has approximately 8 biomes, I think. Something that'll make me feel old? Try me, because I know I'm young. Thought 90210 was just a cool seed. I remember seeing 90210 commercials. I never watched it. 90210 is the area code for Beverly Hills, I believe. Wouldn't it be very interesting if somehow that was the seed I've been looking for early release? Well, if you were in 1.0 though, it would not be the same. But I'm still trying to find that seed that had the mountains, the split mountains with a river going through. And that's very not helpful because there's a lot of seeds from early release that had rivers going through mountains. Howdy to you as well, welcome back. Yeah, I figured they wouldn't because bombs got moved around in 1.2. So looking at the seed in 1.0 and then looking at it in 1.2 would not be the same. This ended up taking longer than I thought to chop down all these trees. You know what happened? This wood is going rather slow. I'll probably head up top on the mountain again to pick up the stuff. Because the items, they keep falling from the sky. If you know it's not 8675309, does that mean you remember what the biomes were on there? Oop. Sun's going down already. You remember shape. Fair enough. I think I'll be all set. Let me look on something real fast. Alright, not important. Turns out I got notifications over on the gram from one person I don't even think follows me. Another person, I have no idea who they are. As I posted my game trailer over on there, I did an edit to make it vertical. So that way it was a nicer viewing experience compared to just cropping it. Anyways, posted game trailer on there along with all the other platforms. It'd be nice if it was Glacier, because if Glacier is indeed the terrain that I remember from those old seed videos, that'd be nice. Because I remember right next to that split mountain range was also a village. And I remember watching videos of that seed showing the village, and it was all wheat. And then I played on the seed in 1.4, and it had carrots and potatoes. That was nice. It's so hard trying to find old seed videos, though. I very well could just be going through old seed videos as a losing battle if the Machinima Realm, that whole group, if a lot of those videos were on there, because then that's not going to help me any. Because I certainly remember seeing that Machinima logo quite a lot back in the day. 11, 12, 13 years ago. Machinima was a YouTube channel network. And I don't remember if Machinima Realm was like a subdivision of that. But basically, it was a large collection of YouTubers. And so all of their different content would be on the same, or on the, in a centralized location. And then the channel network went down. All those videos were either privated or deleted. And so thousands of videos from many different channels no longer accessible. I don't watch The Boys. I don't know what The Crew is, and I've not heard of Silva Gunner. There's probably videos, more detailed videos, about what happened to Machinima Online. But there's an entire Minecraft video genre called Machinimas that are essentially short films or short videos, usually for entertaining purposes. Not interested, wasn't your era? I know that feeling. There's a lot of stuff mentioned here that I'm thinking, not for me. Why are you concerned about Pat getting arrested again? If it's happened before, it can happen again. That was your era? You gotta not be attached to people you'll never know. Maybe that's why I have a very strong disconnect from fiction and fictional characters. Because I'm never gonna meet them. Therefore, sure, I can read, watch, listen to good stories, but I don't get attached to the characters because I'll never interact with them. YouTubers, same thing. Although, it's always possible that one day I might. I've met quite a few people at Minecon and Minefair, but that's all meet and greet stuff. Used to watch English Machinima without understanding a single word, but you were entertained. That's a good way to go about it. Captain Sparkles might have had stuff on there. Ultimate Minecraft Psychology. There's a lot of P words that just happen to work. Because the last one was Ultimate Minecraft Philosophy. Aren't any other items for me to collect? It's nice having all these sticks. I don't know what I'll use them for. I can always make more torches, and then put the torches in the torch chest that is always empty, because the amount of times that I use torches. Sugarcane generates on sand. Once sugarcane was able to be planted on sand, sand turned into a valid spawning location for sugarcane. I don't know what version. I don't know what version you could place sugarcane on sand. Early release, I thought. But anyways, because it's a valid spawning location, that's why it generates on sand. It's the same thing as why sometimes you can get really tall sugarcane, because other sugarcane are a valid spawning place for sugarcane. Same thing with cactus. Another cactus block is a valid spawning place for more cactus. It changed in 1.2.5, or are you saying because you're working on the mod and that's why? I feel like disabling sugarcane on sand doesn't sound useful. I feel like that can only be unuseful. Sugarcane itself isn't part of the terrain in what I consider, because that's part of when the chunks get decorated. Plants I view as chunk decorations and not terrain. If you want purism, you'd have to also not have strongholds in old versions then, as strongholds didn't exist. So it's really a sort of, is this feature that improves the game worth keeping around or not? You can turn off strongholds? Is it not easy to turn off sugarcane generation? Hello, hi, howdy to you as well. Welcome back. Okay, is this the last one? Yes, it is, except there's a little more in here. I liked it earlier when there weren't nearly as many poofy trees. Feels like the farther I go, the more there are. Maybe it's just a change in biome. Can't check what the biomes are now. I would need an old version of the world to know what these used to be. Why do you have a bloody nose? Is it toasty over there? It's been toasty over here. 90-something Fahrenheit. 35-ish Celsius. I have every single backup of the world. I sometimes miss a version to make a backup in. Just recently, I forgot to back up after 1.16 pre-release 4, I think, or 3. I can't remember. So I have pre-release 2, the first 1.16 version of this world. And then not long after, I missed one. But anyways, I have the vast majority of every version backups. And then there are times, like when I spent extra time in 1.12, where because of that extra week in 1.12, I have multiple 1.12.2 backups. But otherwise, as of right now, I still have every backup of this world I created. So yes, I can always go back and double check the beta 1.2 backups if I'm feeling it. Or, because beta 1.2 was back in part 1, you can always check the world archive available down in the description. Go through and try to find the beta 1.2 copy of the world. Everything should be clearly labeled in the folder structure. There are some zip files for early versions where the world backups are together in one archive. I don't remember if I started separating them by beta 1.2. The reason was way back in InfDev and maybe InDev, I can't remember. But way back in InfDev and early alpha, the world was really, really small. And especially because of the alpha format, what I did was I compressed multiple backups, or I should say multiple copies, into one zip archive. So then that way, better compression, because it's a lot of repetitive data, but also because it was really small, easy to manage. Anyways, we can ignore my data compression techniques. Point being, beta 1.2 is already on the public archive. Catch some Z's, Zella Moon Rises. You look at the LEGO parts catalog. I tried a while ago making a LEGO vase. I can't remember what the program was called. It was a dedicated program where you can design a LEGO set and then purchase all of the parts required for it and the instructions. Work on the instructions for all of it. Can't remember what the program is called. But very quickly, that Lego vase was getting expensive. I think I also had some issues with stability, as in it was likely to fall over. I'm pretty sure the program's still around. It would have only been within the past 2 or 3 years. Well, anyways, point being, since then, I don't think I've done anything new with Legos. If anyone wants to give me a Lego set, I'll always accept it. I'll find some place to display it. I was also thinking of bringing back my old Minecraft Lego sets. I say old, but maybe 2015, 2016. Well, I guess 2016, that was 9 years ago. That's in the 1.9, 1.10 era. 1.11 came at the tail end of 2016. Anyways, I was thinking of bringing those together because since I kept those Minecraft Legos separate, I would be able to deconstruct what is currently together and have all the parts for each of the individual sets again. Because it was multiple Lego Minecraft sets that I brought together for one large build that I worked on in multiple configurations. I just haven't gotten around to doing that. But these past several months, I've been thinking it would be fun to go back to Legos again. One day, perhaps. A 34-million-year-old lost world under Antarctica. Or was it up north? The Arctic Circle. So if you describe it as a lost world, what exactly did they find? Was it dinosaurs? But oops. Not talking about the 97 movie or the 95 book. I'm talking about the 1925 book, I think. Or movie. I can't remember when the book came out, but I want to say The Lost World was 1925. And then a few years later, 1933, we got the first King Kong movie. Antarctic. Okay, so it was South Pole. Because you said Arctic, Antarctic ice. So I was trying to figure out which one. When you say Journey to the Center of the Earth, which one? There was the original movie, I think. There was a made-for-television movie. There was another dedicated movie that ended up having a sequel. I tried finding which one, because I know I've seen two Journey to the Center of the Earth, and I haven't figured out which ones. One was the more popular one in the later 2000s that had the sequel and a more recognizable cast. The other one, I'm not sure. Decided that Legos would gather too much dust, you picked up digital Legos. Understandable. And howdy, welcome back. I'm getting tired of tree chopping, but these aren't full yet. I'm getting close, I will say. Oh, this one's about to be full. Maybe I'll not put the apples in there. If I keep the apples here, then this one's even closer to being full. Alright, well... Oops, that's stacked. Oh wait, hold up. Let me... Data compression, go. I feel like Minecraft would have still succeeded. Digital Legos is a comparison. It's not a cause. People would still want to create entire worlds and structures and all these other builds using the tool set provided. So if Lego never existed, using regular human nature, we still would have been attracted to the game itself. Alright, which way's home again? I should say which way's the outpost. Oh, the outpost is just right there? But there's still so many trees. The battle continues. I'm not forgetting the butterfly effect. I just think human nature, people would still be attracted to Minecraft. What made people attracted to Legos? The ability to design stuff very well. Does that not carry over? Something more direct, though. What if Infiniminer never existed? Would Notch still have enough inspiration? Notch very well could have made a different type of game, one much closer to Dwarf Fortress. But if there was no Infiniminer, Minecraft probably would not look the same. Infiniminer was a direct inspiration. If we take Legos out of the picture, Minecraft probably... Well, that's assuming everything else would have stayed the same then. So the other question is, what else in the world would have changed? If Minecraft existed in a vacuum. Oh, I remember this place. I think I remembered why I didn't chop down this tree. Are the leaves decaying? Decisions. Don't even remember how many logs there were. Oops. Alright, if the leaves are not decaying, then let me just steal one of these real fast. Boop. Oops, hold up. I need another leaf block there. Like, I'm pretty sure Lego's non-existence would not have caused Notch to be born. It depends on whether or not Minecraft would have looked the same as what it was. But with all the different lengthy effects, I should say, I suppose. Everything that came out after Lego. One, two, three. There we go. So there are a few leaves decayed, but that's alright. It's all fixed. Several near-death experiences before you even born. Someone was testing his luck, whether it was intentional or not. Alright, eyes turn red, time to go to bed. I think. Yep. There are monsters nearby. What? Says who, Pikachu? There we go. Nine minutes left of the day. Where did the time go? Alright, so now that gets to live. I put the torches, hopefully it'll remind me. This is starting to sound like a series of unfortunate events. I don't plan on checking out the cave because I don't need to collect more resources that are going to steal inventory slots. No bundles yet. I think we'll go tree chopping this way. It might be a big cave. I feel like I did a little bit of exploring not that long ago. Oh, you know what? I'm probably going to need to repair the axe soon. In fact, how about we do that? We're going to wrap up on this tree here, and then the one right next to it, because it's all sort of connected. Do I just wait? Nah, I'll probably be bouncing back and forth between these. Oh, hold up, there's another one. Here, let's see if we get Bad Omen 4 when we take this guy out. Hello. Now I have Bad Omen 4. It really does just add up. I wonder if that's intentional or not. They're probably, Mojang's probably not expecting you to just keep going scout party after scout party. Alright, let's go pick up the goods. Then I'm thinking of heading back. I'm just tired of chopping. And I don't feel like doing chopping for another stream and a half like previously. Oh hey, it all fit. Alright, anything else? Because I realize there are leaves in this area that end up being put in suspended animation for extended periods of time, just because I'm not around to keep the chunks loaded that often. I'm trying to banner collect. We're only at 4 though. Alright, that might be good enough. I might just leave these leaves, but oops, back in suspended animation again. Oh, special sense now both items really are full. Alright, time to head on out of here. Wonder if I'll ever do anything in this area. Probably not, because I mainly just use it for collecting wood. But at least I'll be able to start out tomorrow with building more shelves. That'll be fun. That'll be more fun than chopping down trees. So much for not trying to go the rest of today working on this. Yawn. I say as if it's been a long day. Not really, but I was doing PR stuff this morning. Hooray, marketing. Go in the right direction. Alright, away we go. Can that be... We're about to drift over, aren't we? Yep. That's alright. Famous last words. Think we'll make it back home in time? We have another minute and a half. Here's to hoping. Cool. That's the one I was hoping to miss. We should... Huzzah! Skirt, skirt. Oop, there we go. Oops. Alright, we might be able to make it. I'll deal with sorting later. Maybe on my own time. Right after the stream. And oink. Well, at least we made it back to the portal. So, because there is indeed only a short while left of the day, let's go grab some milk and put down these banners, and then that'll be it. I'll need to make sure to be over here for the reason of I would rather not trigger a raid. I have not done so yet, and I'm going to continue to hope we don't. So yeah, before I forget, I am going to drink some milk. And look, hooray, now we're at 6 of these. So yeah, let me just get the milk real fast. So yeah, if y'all have final thoughts, start saying them now. Because we'll be back again. Hopefully tomorrow. That'd be nice. Goodbye, Bad Omen 4. Yep, that's indeed all it for today. Thank you all for watching. Bye.